Hi, everybody. Welcome back to In the Cards and Stars, your favorite pop culture and astrology podcast. I'm your host, Britt Madrid Mogensen, and today we're talking about numerology, specifically the numerology of 2026, because this is honestly like one of the most important things that I personally follow. Once you follow numerology and personal year cycles long enough, you start to live by it because it is just that like dead on. It's such a cool way to see like the theme of a year, how it's going to affect you. And you've probably also like heard a lot of talk on Instagram and like TikTok about people saying that 2026 is a one universal year. Like, what does that mean? Is that the same thing as your personal year? We're going to just get into all of it. We're going to clarify it so that you guys know exactly what you need to do. I'm going to give you some fun tips. It's going to be a good time. So, all right, let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, if you guys are new to numerology, this is how you calculate your personal year. It is super simple. You just want to take your date of birth with the month of birth. So let's use Taylor Swift as an example, the queen of different eras. By the way, hers are dead on. We've talked about that before on the channel, and it's pretty insane. So, okay, she was born on December 13th. So we know that December is the 12th month of the year. So you're just going to add those numbers up. 1 and 2 is 3. We got this. Plus, you're going to add up the digits of her date of birth, which is the 13th. So first add 3 and 1, which is 4. So we're going to be adding 3 plus 4, which gives us 7. And then you're going to add that number basically to any year number that you want to understand the personal year vibration of. So you can go backwards if you want to like reflect on things. You can go forwards if you want to see what the themes are going forth. Or for this year, we want to do 2026, right? So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 equals 10. And in numerology, 0, you just cancel it out, throw it away. So that's a 1 year. That's why everybody's been talking about how this is a 1 universal year. So for everybody collectively, we are in a 1 energy. But for you personally and for Taylor Swift, we're going to take that number 7 and we are going to add that to 1, and that gives us 8, which is her personal year vibration. Okay, so same thing with you guys. Pretty simple. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what this means for you guys. So calculate your personal year number for 2026. And I'm going to go through all of them. And then you guys, we're going to do a live stream where we're going to talk about it. We're going to chit chat. You guys can ask me questions. It'll be one of those like ask me anything at tarot tea times. So that'll be scheduled this week. But first, let's get the basics here so that we can all get on the same page. Then we'll hang out and chat about it. In numerology, personal years go from 1 through 9, and then they start again at 1. And this describes the themes of the year that you're going to be experiencing. And it does intermingle with the universal year theme. So you want to kind of think of it in the light of a more independent, more of a year of change. So no matter what your personal year number is, just know that 2026 is a year to make major changes with that energy that you're in. All right, so starting with 1, this is the main character. Okay, so if this is you guys, this is your year to be the main character. You get to step into the spotlight. This is my year this year, and I do feel ready for it. Every single year, it's like we really do end on a note that typically makes us feel very ready for the next chapter. I've just noticed that numerology is very kind in that way, that we kind of wind down. And sometimes we'll even be in an energy where we feel like we're experiencing the opposite, so that we naturally are nudged towards like more independence. So for example, I ended the year, I think I told you guys about it. Like it was just so much, you guys. It was so much going on at the end of 2025. Like I felt like I wasn't prioritizing myself or even this channel as much as I want to. And I had so many like commitments and things. And it got me into this headspace, very numerology in the wild moment, of being like, okay, in 2026, I am going to prioritize the things that really, really matter to me, the things that I enjoy the most. I am going to focus more on like what I just want to do, like what I want to do. You know what I mean? And that is 1 energy. So if you guys are also in a personal 1 year, The energy is going to be double amplified because it also is the universal year number. But this is your time to shine, rise and shine. Funny enough, Kylie Jenner is also in a 1 year. So interesting. I feel like we've got to put a pin in that and come back to it, maybe in a different reading or a live stream, because I have a lot to say about Kylie Jenner's numerology and life cycles. So fascinating that she really does follow it. But okay, so if this is you guys, this is when you take everything that you have learned, reviewed, sorted through in 2025, which was a 9 year. And that was when you were just kind of closing out a cycle, reevaluating. You may have revisited a lot of different things. Like, for example, Kylie Jenner revisited her King Kylie era. Now, a lot of people were saying, well, this is going to be the new her. I don't think so. I think that 9 energy is very nostalgic. So in a 9 year, you do kind of look back. You scoop up the things that meant the most to you in the past, 9 years. And you can transform those things and take them with you in a different way into, 2026, the 1 year start of a new cycle. But typically you are going to just be touching base with yourself a lot in your 9 year, which makes you feel very ready to move forward once you get to your 1 personal year. So if you guys are in a 1 personal year, this is when you want to start something, a project, a habit, an identity shift. The time is now. It's go time. Last year was a lot of stop, start energy. There were a lot of things that you were probably excited about, but they just couldn't really get off the ground. And that's because you were busy tying up loose ends, whether that was emotionally, in your career, or even physically with life habits or needing to take care of your health. That was what that was about. But this year, now that that's all taken care of, and you can still wrap it up in January, we still have this month, but we really get going this year. So now is the time to take all that inspiration and make it real. Okay. This is the year to make it real. And what you start in a 1 personal year, and the same thing for the universal year, you guys, which is why I'm very interested to see what happens on the world stage. I have so many video ideas, you guys. I'm dying with our country and with everything else going on in the world. Last year really, as my husband says, it got the yucky out. It's last year, 2025 was looking at everything that's been beneath the surface. 9 energy is energy of transformation. We're also in the year of the snake. Wow, did we see it all? We saw the Epstein files. We saw corruption on a grand scale. We started to collectively as a group see through things that in the past people would just kind of whisper about or discuss with their own groups of friends or whatever. But now these things have become public knowledge, common knowledge, a lot of corruption in plain sight like we've never seen before in our lifetime. And now we're okay, it's a 1 year. What are we going to do about it? How is this year going to start us on a new trajectory? Are we going to go deeper into the darkness, or are we going to decide that light is the best disinfectant? Are we going to be brave? Are we going to move forward? And are we going to make changes? And that is what I believe is going to happen. Okay. I have faith, you guys. I really do. But it's going to take effort. So that's what's going on, you guys. This year takes effort. This is about saying yes to opportunities that may feel scary but exciting. If you were inspired last year to do something that was out of your comfort zone, but you didn't quite have the energy or the time or the know-how to do it, it just, the timing really wasn't right for a launch. This year, the timing is right for a launch. So just do it. Just do it. Honestly, do not even hesitate. Okay. So that's what's going on, you guys. Let go of your old storylines. You did that last year. You're done. This is the time to say, I'm ready. I'm choosing myself. I'm going to begin. It's time for my fresh start. It's okay to put myself first right now. And the mantra is, I am allowed to begin again. And that's what you're doing. And whatever you put in motion this year is going to continue to unfold over the next 9 years. So I always feel like the 1 year, the year of seed planting, it's honestly, it's the most important of the personal years, because what you plant will grow and unfold over the next 9 years. All right. So let's talk about how it's going to unfold. So the next year, which is a 2 personal year. If you guys are in a 2 personal year, like Nicola Coughlin, Alex Earl, head over to Patreon if you guys want to know about the numerology compatibility and my predictions for Alex Earl and rumored person that she's dating, ? Tom Brady. It's juicy. It's juicy. Zoran Mamdani, the new mayor of New York City, a 2 personal year. Last year, a 1 year for all these people was the year of planting seeds. This year, the seeds are starting to sprout. What was 1 is now becoming 2. The energy is growing, okay? So for the 2 year, if this is you, you're going to start to see those little seedlings that you planted last year. You see the little sprouts coming up. You need to keep watering them. So you're going to keep growing what you initiated last year. You are also going to be prioritizing relationships. This made me think of that quote, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, which is an African proverb. I've heard that so many times, and I always think of that when I'm working with somebody and, with me being born on a 9-day, a Mars ruled day, I have to constantly remind myself that patience is so important, and it truly is a life lesson to learn. And if you guys are in a 2 year, you're really going to feel this energy that, yes, you could rush through things alone if you want, probably like you did last year, which was the time for that. You were planting independent seeds and you needed to be independent. But in a 2 year, the things that you did last year, now that they're growing, you can't do it all alone anymore. So this is going to take patience, perseverance, communication, all things that we need when working with others. 2 is about the partnership energy. So this is new partners, new business relationships, friendships can really grow this year. They're going to support you in your life. A romantic relationship, if you get into a romantic relationship in a 2 year, chances are that is going to be a relationship that continues to grow. If not, it's just going to be a relationship that teaches you a lot about what it means to be a good partner and helps you to grow in that skill set that you need. Think about 2 as like, how can I work with others to create the life that I desire? How can I be more mindful of other people while I still honor myself? So it's all about those partners. You may feel a little bit more sentimental this year. You may realize early on in the year that you do need to bring some other people around you. Maybe you've been trying to go it alone too much. Great year to join a club, take a dance class, start a new hobby that's group related. Anything that gets you into that energy of partnership, teamwork, that's going to be really, really positive for your growth. And it's going to manifest and help you grow in really unexpected ways. So I love the 2 energy for that. Very much about harmony and like all those warm, fuzzy feelings. And the way that the universe prepares you for this energy is that typically by the end of a 1 year, you're like, okay, I've been doing it alone for a long time. Like this whole year has been so busy, I'm a little tired. And you tend to be like, I'm ready to hang out with my friends, focus on and prioritize my relationships, my family. Maybe you like get an agent or, things like that. You're working with others. I thought this was really funny because we're going to talk about this more on Patreon, but quick little note here with Alex Earl. At the end of 2025, she just finished Dancing with the Stars, very much a 1 energy, very independent. And I saw that she posted on her Instagram story that she was now traveling and hanging out with all of her friends. Oh, and she adopted her rescue pit bull that she'd been fostering. That's such 2 energy, you guys. Great year to find a pet, to adopt a pet, to just get that warm, fuzzy energy going. You know what I mean? Anything that helps you to bond and really grow that nurturing spirit, super important. But it was so funny. I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. She really burned the candle at both ends in that 1 year, as one does. And it's ready to slow down a little bit, spend time with friends, adopt a pet, all those good things in life. So if you guys are in this type of energy, if it's a 2 personal year, couple of tips: prioritize relationships over rushing the results. Practice setting boundaries without any guilt. Collaborate. Don't compete. Trust in slow growth because slow growth is still growth. The 2 energy is the sprouts coming up. So this is like focus on the journey, not the destination, okay? You're going to see a lot more rapid growth again in a 3-year. Take this year to pause, to nurture your heart and soul and spirit, fortify yourself. Every year has a purpose and they all work together. Don't try to skip steps, and you're going to make the most of this year. Also, beautiful mantra, I honor my emotional truth, okay? So tune in to your emotions. Let your heart center take over. Heal your heart. Heal anything going on in there. And yeah, experience life and love this year. It's going to be good. Okay, if you guys are in a personal year 3, this is your hot, talkative, creative era. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to back up. I forgot to tell you guys personal year 2, the era that I assigned to you guys is the feel your feelings era. Okay. Feel your feelings. Love it. Okay. Personal year 3, you are in the hot, talkative, creative era. So this is all about expressing more joy. It's about enhancing your visibility, your creativity. After last year's 2 energy of being about partners and, definitely still doing what you want to do, of course, but doing it with others, this was a year where you may have put in the 2 year, you may have put some of your personal desires aside in order to assist other people. You were learning about being a really amazing partner and friend and teammate. Now that you've done that, we're at the 3 year and you're ready to expand again. So it's like, okay, the team has built all these things. Now we need like a third, like there's even more energy. So we need like a third member of the team, or there's going to be more things that we're doing now. We're growing again. We're moving forward again. So 3 energy tends to be a little bit chaotic. It's fun. It's vibrant. It's super creative. It's kind of a wild card. Like you may travel more this year. You may get invited to something or end up doing something that you weren't expecting. Like it's kind of a glow up energy. I always feel like 3 years and 3 months, which that's another topic we can get into on a different episode, your personal months, which helps you plan the year as well. But I always find like 3 years are so fun. They're so fun. Like you just have these experiences that remind you about the expression of joy. They remind you that life can still surprise you, and just like get dressed up, put on the high heels this year, go out, have a good time. Let your bubbly personality shine through. Be more social, be more talkative, be more willing to meet people. That's all very positive during a 3 year. This is definitely the year to be on the go, get out there. Next year, you will have time to yourself again to chill and relax. So I really want you guys to like have a lot of fun. If you're typically an introvert, let this be a little bit more of an extroverted year for you guys, because you want to get to where you are fully ready by the time we get to your 4 year to like batten down the hatches again and focus back on your foundation. And if you don't get all that out of your system and like have all the fun you need to this year, the 4 year can feel kind of like constricting. So the 3 year, give yourself permission to have fun, lighthearted energy. Think light and breezy, baby. Okay. This is your year to be light and breezy. Go to comedy shows, like, uplift your spirit. That is so important. Very social. Like I said, do things with friends, plan parties, plan events, have fun. This is also about, like I said, being seen. So schedule a photo shoot, take some new photos. Why not? Why not, you guys? Have a good time. This also feels like I have so much to say because 3 energy is communication. So you may feel really chatty, talkative. You may start your own podcast this year. Go for it. Perfect year for that. You may decide that you want to have a conversation that you haven't had the energy to have previously. Maybe it's healing something with somebody. 3 is also very emotional. And after last year, the 2 energy of building all these skills around how to communicate with others and boundaries and balancing. By the 3 year, you're ready to go deeper emotionally. You have more energy and more skills to be able to, have even more important, more deep conversations with people. So maybe you learned a lot last year. And so now this year you're ready to like have a conversation with an estranged family member, just as like an example. The 3 year is great for a multitude of things, both lighthearted and emotional if necessary for where you're at, but you will have the energy to do that. few tips, create content, art, generate new ideas, express yourself this year, say yes to social invites. You never know. You never know what could happen at one of those. Let yourself be playful. The focus is absolutely not on perfection this year. It is on a playful, joyful spirit and getting back in touch with your inner child. Don't overthink things. Let your voice, just use your voice. Even if your voice shakes, use it. That's what this year is about. And your mantra is, my joy and my voice matter. Okay? So fun. Okay, personal year 4. This kind of cracked me up that Cardi B is actually in a personal year 4 because she was pretty messy in 2025, I will say. I mean, nowhere near like Nicki Minaj level of messy. I mean, we've discussed that on the channel. That's, she's lost her mind. But Cardi B, she was like, dealing with some relationship stuff. She had some legal issues. All of that was in her very emotional 3 energy year. I mean, she was lighthearted, but maybe a little too lighthearted about some of those situations. And it's okay if that was you last year in your 3 year. Maybe you got a little burnt out. You were fully embracing the energy of the 3, which is good. Good. You should do that. But now you're like, been there, done that. Need to come back to center. Need to check my bank account balance. Need to have a schedule. Maybe go get some checkups. You know what I mean? Like this is like the 4 year is, okay, I am an adult. I am my own foundation. I am in charge of my life. And I need to be sure that my life is in order and that my house is in order. And that could be like literal for you guys potentially, because the 4 is also associated with the home, like the 4 walls. So you may even want to like hire an organizer or buy an organizing book, or just maybe you're a great organizer and just get to it. This is your year to do that. And I would go ahead and just like get that going pretty quickly at the beginning of the year. And if you don't have time the first month of the year, because this is a 5 month for you guys in January, definitely in your 6 or 7 months. So February, March, let's do that. If you're kind of busy in January, because a 5 month is very busy, if you were in that energy, it's totally fine to wait to do the organizing and like the feathering your nest kind of stuff in February, March, when you're like going to be a little more grounded. But, this year for you guys is about strengthening your foundation. It's not as flashy as last year, but it is incredibly important. I would say the 4 is like very similar to the 1 energy year as far as importance goes. This is like, my label for this era is the get your life together era, which hopefully Cardi B does that, right? But this is like one of the most important, because similar to like the 1 year where you were laying a foundation, the 4 year is like we take a look back at that foundation and we notice like, okay, the foundation of this house has been great. Things are looking really good, but I kind of need to add a little bit of like, I don't know, reinforcement here or there. It's starting to, there's some erosion taking place. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, you need a little tune up. It happens. We have to sometimes stop and check in with ourselves. So you may even want to reflect back on what you started in your 1 year and see how the progress is coming along. If you need more structure, more grounded boundaries, if you feel like you need to get back to what you started in your 1 personal year, whatever those ventures were or those goals that you had were in your 1 year, then this is a great time to do that. A really good time to be a little bit more insular, focus more on your routine. Don't ignore things that are nagging at you. Maybe there's like a student loan payment that has been bothering you, or you want to refinance something. This is the year to take care of it. Just take care of it. Just do it. Try not to overthink it, because the 4 year we can start to overthink things, and it's very like Saturnian where we can get in our heads. Don't do it. Just stop. Okay. Don't get in your head. Take it from me. Take it from a Virgo. Don't do it. It never helps. Just move forward. This is a year to just take action. You know what you need to do? Take action. Separate the emotions from it and take action. Last year was the year to be in the feels. This year is the year to put on your little executive hat and just get things in order, which will feel like a relief after last year. Sometimes it can be a little draining to be the social butterfly all the time. Now it's your turn. Take care of you. Take care of your foundation. Take care of your goals, your dreams, yourself, what you want. You may feel inherently that you want a lot of stability this year. Good. That means you're on track. You may feel like you don't want to go out as much. That's good. That's fine. You're on track. So just check in with yourself. What do you need to do? A few tips: create systems, schedules, budgets, plans, focus on consistency over motivation. Consistency. We are more in routines than our feels this year. Handle the boring stuff because it will pay off. You will thank yourself for it later, and you will set yourself up for a very joyful 5-year next year. Take care of your body and your stress levels. Great year to get into building muscle and eating healthy, learning new recipes. Truly a focus on you, your home, yourself, your temple. You are sacred. Treat yourself that way this year. You've got this. And your mantra is slow and steady builds security. So it's going to be a very rewarding year. And just remind yourself that stability, security, and like setting goals and setting out habits and then accomplishing those things by just showing up every day is a huge accomplishment in itself. So pat yourself on the back, get yourself into a routine, and you're going to find that like you're actually really loving this. It's actually feeling really great. You're feeling healthy this year. You're feeling happy. So enjoy it. Okay. 5 personal years. If you guys are in a 5 personal year, this is your era of chaos, freedom, and plot twists. Now, don't be scared, because when I say chaos, sometimes people are like, what? Oh my God. But 5 is the year of change. Okay. Now, before you worry too much about it, this is also the year to embrace change. Most of us typically do not love the idea of change. It's just not really in our human nature to want to get into change. But this year for you guys, change is where you're going to find your blessings, your rewards. A great time to reread a book that I've recommended to you guys like a million times called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. This is your year to lean into what's new, what is ambitious, what's going to force you to be more courageous, what makes you feel like you're living life in a bigger way versus trying to hold up the status quo. So last year, you built that solid foundation. So assuming that you guys did the work, you showed up. And by the way, if you haven't yet, that's okay. January is a 6 energy month for you guys. So you can start January, February. February is a 7 month. You can lay that foundation in January, February. If you still have a few things that are outstanding, because sometimes people don't get into the 4 energy right away. There's like some resistance. The transition from the 3-year to the 4-year can be kind of a lot. Don't worry if you feel like there's still some things that you want to like get in order before you embrace change and this kind of like bigger, more social year. Take February, March to do that. I would say February with the 6 energy, feather the nest, get things tidied up. I'm sorry, January. I was like, what am I saying? January with your 6 energy, I would say that's like home and like body, self, temple, daily routines. And then 7 energy would be like any major strategies. So in February, I would do, if you need to like financially strategize or meet with an accountant or like anything that has to do with like the outer world or like bigger plans or future plans, do that in February. January, this is like get yourself together first. So like home organization, health, fitness, all those things, daily routine, writing in a planner, all that stuff. So if you need it, some people, they've been doing it and they're like ready to jump right in to the new vibes. And if you are, this is a year to really just embrace the change. You may feel like I'm a little restless. You may feel like everything is changing. It's meant to, because 5 is the halfway point. So this is where we get the plot twist. This is where we get reinvigorated. So always reflecting back on our one personal year. What started that year for you guys? What were the themes? What was new? Maybe you moved to a new place. Maybe you started a new job. Maybe you got into a new relationship in a 1 year. Whatever it was that you were building in a 1 year, reflect and see how it's grown. And now that you're in the 5-year, this is that halfway point, and you get to say, okay, I'm going to now spice it up. I'm going to reinvigorate my life. I'm going to get excited again about everything that I have been working on since my one personal year when I established this new beginning in my life. And it's going to be different for everybody, which is why I'm very excited to do the live stream episode where we're all going to like talk about this in real time, because it's so cool to hear how it manifests differently for everybody, because it really does manifest. So we'll use Taylor Swift as our example for this because her eras are insanely accurate. In her 5 personal year in 2023, that was when she started the Eras Tour. She talked about on the tour how she had 2 breakups. It was like, this whole thing where everything was changing, but it was exciting. And if you guys saw the documentary, you know that her life was exciting at that time. I mean, she was going on tour. She was, experiencing change by literally going to a different city. This is another one of those travel years, by the way. 5 is a year of a lot of travel, change, glamour. You may decide randomly that you want to like throw everything out of your closet and upgrade your outfits. You may decide you want to like learn to sew and like start dressing. I don't know. 5 is just embrace the creativity, embrace the flow, and enjoy it. So anyway, for Taylor, before she was very much behind the scenes the previous year in 2022, we hadn't heard much from her. Well, 2023 pops on the scene. She's like broken up with Joe on the Eras Tour. And in her day-to-day life, that looked like a lot of change, new costumes, new friends with her dancers, like new cities all the time, like a new spicy relationship, the 5 rules of 5 senses. So you may have like a really dramatic love affair this year. Okay, enjoy. Think Bridgerton-esque. It's an exciting year, so embrace that. If that's like the time in your life to do that, if that feels right, embrace it. Or you may spice up your existing relationship, go on a romantic trip together, like reinvigorate your life, romanticize your life, have fun, and lean in to the change. Because what did all of that change that could have felt very fearful, and it did feel, she felt stressed at times, as we see in the documentary about the Eras Tour. But if she hadn't embraced all that change and all that excitement and a little bit of that fear, then she wouldn't have had the Eras Tour, made all that money, really sent her star up into the stratosphere. I mean, she even said this was like the biggest thing she's done yet. And it was. I mean, the 5 year is going to pick you guys back up. So after all the hard work last year, you finally see like some solid rewards this year. It's like, ooh, feeling good. Like this is how it's supposed to feel. And then that is going to lead into a really beautiful Venus-ruled 6 year next year. And for Taylor, by the time we got to her 6 year in 2024, that was the year of Travis. I mean, she was at the Chiefs games that year. She was in the, everybody was snapping photos of her with Travis. That was her year of really falling in love and letting everybody know about it. She finally, the public knew about it and everybody was obsessed with them. So, okay. For 2025 though, your mantra is change is my ally. And a couple of tips for you guys are to stay flexible. Rigidity is futile this year. So just go with the flow, be flexible, say yes to adventure and spontaneity. Avoid impulsive decisions that are fueled by boredom. So ask yourself, am I feeling inspired to do this or am I just bored? Okay. Go with the inspiration, not the boredom, because 5, the downside can be impulsivity. And then let go of whatever is holding you back. Let go of it. Let it drop. If you guys are in a 6 personal year, so this is the love, responsibility, and heart year. This year is about commitment, community, beauty, and love. And I mean, if we just look at Taylor Swift's to go on that same trajectory, I mean, by the time she got to the 6th year, it was like wrapping up all of the depression, torture post swap, and everybody was kind of surprised when she even came out with that. That was more born of like previous years, because the 6th year for her was really about falling in love, and being around a community of people. She was like at the Chiefs games and around those families and other players' families and her own family and Travis's family. It's like such a year of growth internally, truly feeling like you're building your legacy, but from the heart. This is when your focus is on relationships, family, healing, commitment, a community. I love 6 years. They're always like so fun. I always feel like I have more time with my friends and more fun things happening to bond with my friends. It's such a good good year. Also a great year to do creative things because 6 is ruled by Venus. So amazing time to start a new creative hobby. If you've been wanting to do something like cosmetic, for example, because the 6 is like beauty and love and like the kind of glow up, the kind of glow energy, I would say you could do that in the 6th year. Maybe you decide you want to like start, I don't know, microneedling or something, or getting a laser peel, whatever. Research, find the right provider. But, 6 years is a good time to focus on your beauty, your glow. It's a good time to show up for yourself and for others. And not only is it about love, but it's also about emotional responsibility. And depending on what is happening for you, that could mean a committed relationship where you decide you're going all in. It could mean more responsibility to your family. You may be taking care of certain family members or other like duties and things that you hadn't ever taken care of before, but it's okay. That's a good thing. This is where you're growing this year, and it feels good to step into that type of responsibility during a 6th year. It shows you just how strong you are. It's going to feel like I care a lot. It may even feel like, wow, I'm kind of carrying everyone, but that also shows you how strong you are. And if you do feel like that, don't forget to make sure that you spend time on yourself too. Reward yourself, get yourself a little treat. Make sure that you're spending and making time for you this year, because it is very much about the community and others and friendship and love and fun. But make sure you also, plan out that time to just take for you to stay charged. This year, we're going to want harmony and things to just go smoothly. Great time to communicate with others and just really build those relationships, kind of similar to the 2 year. This is continuing to grow in that part of your life. So some tips: nurture relationships that nourish you, set boundaries to avoid burnout, heal old emotional wounds, create beauty and comfort in your life. An amazing year, kind of similar to the 4 year to feather your nest. Maybe in the 4 year, you were organizing the house and saving money for the home. And by the 6th year, you're ready to decorate the home. Kind of like that would be sort of how I see this playing out. Like the 6 years when you can like buy some new furniture, new pillows, things like that. Just a time to make your life more comfortable, however that looks for you. The mantra is, I give love without losing myself. Just continuing to grow in the ability to love others and to also love yourself and to make your life beautiful, to make your life feel beautiful to you. Okay, next we have the personal year 7, which is the Hermit. This is, and by the way, nothing wrong with the Hermit, okay? As a Virgo, our card is the Hermit. So I love a good Hermit situation, but this is about healing and insight, spiritual growth, deep healing, strategy, behind the scenes magic. Okay. That's what's going on for you guys. So the vibe this year is about reflection, spirituality, inner work. The year 7 is much quieter than last year. Last year you were bonding with people. You were beautifying your life, your surroundings, yourself. You were probably really social. This year is going to be like, okay, I still have all that, and I'm so happy I built that, and I love all those people and all those things. And now this year, I am going to take a little bit of time to make sure that I'm on track with what's important to me. And that can be exploring different facets of yourself, different facets of your life, different career paths. You may find that you shift and change. For example, with this podcast, during my 7 personal year, I ended up taking the podcast independent so that I could be more experimental with how I wanted to produce content. And I tried, just doing a live stream show, and I tried and all these different things. But that's because 7 is about alignment with your own soul. And with my example, when you are working with a network or with a producer that you didn't choose, there's always going to be some sort of outside influence on what you can do and on what you can create. And like in my vision, I wanted to have like a Patreon, and I wanted to build a community, and I didn't want to be subjected to other people's rules. I just didn't feel like that's what I wanted this community to be. I wanted this to be fun and joyful for all of us. I'm a 9 ruled person. So it's about like the group, the collective. And I felt like the focus was different when I was with other outside partners. So during a 7 year, I took it back. And I decided just to do it myself so I could experiment, so that I could be authentic, so that I could be more honest, so that I could shift things when I wanted to, how I wanted to. And it was about the journey, not the destination. And you know what? This channel has grown very steadily since then. So I'm so grateful for that and for you guys who have been growing with me. And the reason I give you that example is because that is exactly the energy of the 7 year. It's about listening to yourself this year and not the outside world. You don't want to have too many, cooks in the kitchen this year. Last year, you probably really enjoyed, and well, I know you did because it was a 6 year. You enjoyed and welcomed, and it was the time to collaborate and to have other people weigh in. And like I said, you may have been doing stuff for other people, helping other people. There's a lot that goes on. When I think back, man, yeah, there's a lot that goes on. Anyway, that's another story. But there's a lot that goes on in a 6 year, and it's beautiful and it's great and there are many good things, but you also feel like, oh, I need to hear my own voice again. And that's what a 7 year. A 7 year is about. The gift here in a 7 year is like, I get to hear my own voice again. So the hermit isn't exiled. The symbolism of the hermit, it's not like being in exile and like you're a hermit because you're like depressed or something. No, it's about taking the time up at the top of the mountain to breathe and to think and to listen to your own thoughts and to that voice inside, and that knows exactly what the next step is and has that trust and that faith in you and your journey. And that is exactly what you have to do this year, okay? And please don't be scared. Don't be worried. I promise you that by the time you get to your 8 year, next year, you'll see the fruits. You will honestly, oh my gosh, you will so much see the benefits. In my 7 year, like when I did that, when I listened to myself and stepped away from everything, I was pretty scared. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I just like squandering all my opportunities? But no, it was behind the scenes. It was work that I needed to do. It was private. There wasn't a lot of outside, like financial feedback or anything at that time that was positive. So you have to trust yourself. You just keep going all year. Okay. Keep going. And then by the 8 year, like literally in February of my 8 year, that was when Meta started inviting me to like cover different award shows and go to New York and stuff like that. And it was through my podcast. I don't even know how that happened. Except that I guess just when you do your own thing and follow your own creativity, people can hear your voice better. And then people who see that you can get recognition, that kind of thing. So this year for you guys, in whatever realm you're in, for me, it's in, podcasting and social media and all that's beneficial for me. But for you guys, like depending on what your priority is or what your career is or what your soul's journey is, like for you, there's something this year that you're going to be able to tap into that is uniquely part of your purpose and part of what you're supposed to do here in this world, in this life. And you're going to have to trust that and listen to that. And by the time we get to the 8 year, you will get some sort of reward for it, or you'll have that moment where you're like, oh my gosh, it was all worth it. Okay. So this is a year to have faith, trust your intuition. And it's also really fun, by the way. If you don't let yourself worry about this year, if you don't let yourself worry too much about what's going on out there and like the feedback, if you have a lot of faith this year, you can actually have fun, because this is a year where there's a lot less pressure. Because when you step away from things that are stressing you out, you have less pressure. So you're like, okay, like I can either freak out because nothing's happening or it looks like nothing's happening in my life, or I can be like, this is great because I was getting a little tired and I kind of wanted to just have some fun with no pressure. That's what this is, okay? However that looks for you guys. So a few ways this may feel in your life. This could feel like I need some space. I'm starting to question things. I want more clarity. I need to step away. Slow down and listen to your intuition this year. This is a great time to journal, meditate, explore different spiritual practices. Don't force an external outcome. Like I was saying before, you're not going to see the external proof yet, but you'll know by the way that you feel that you're progressing. If you feel a quiet safety inside, if you are trusting your intuition, great year to get some tarot cards or some little Britney Spears oracle cards yourself. Try to keep it light this year because you are in a period of deep thought, and sometimes lightening things up will help you to just kind of feel a little bit more uplifted. But it's good. It's good to be a deep thinker. If we never take the time to think deeply, how do we know we're even on the right track? So this is your year to do that. Focus on you, similar to the 1 year in that it is more about you. But instead of the 1 year being the year we are focused on ourselves in the outer world, the 7 is the year that we're focused on ourselves in our inner world. Okay? Very important and very rewarding. I always actually enjoy my 7 years because I know what it's about. You got to know what it's about. And then you're like, okay, I accept this as a really nice gift, actually. It's kind of great. Trust that rest is productive this year. Things might not feel like they're moving as fast as you want. That's okay. Keep going. Let creativity be your fuel. Let your intuition and your inner light, your inspiration be your fuel. If you look at the Hermit card, in the lantern that they're carrying is the star. So you hold the magic. All you have to do this year is tap into it. That's all you have to do. And it's all going to work out. Okay, your mantra is I trust my inner wisdom. Okay, personal year 8. So if you guys are in a personal year 8, funny enough, Taylor Swift is in a personal year 8. This is the power, money, boss energy era. So this year is about the external. All right, you guys were in that 7 year last year. You know that you were more internal. You stepped away. You were introspective. Well, this year you're going to see pretty quickly at the start of the year that all of that has elevated you. Now that you are very clear on who you are, what you want, what is important to you, what's not important to you. Really, last year was a year of sorting through things, sorting things out. Now you're like, okay, ambition, success, my authority has returned. I feel like I am ready to move forward. And because I figured out how I feel and what's important to me, now I'm going to act on those things. And I'm going to do something in the external world that's going to reflect that and let people know who I am and what is important to me. So, okay, this is the time to step into your power and claim what you deserve financially, professionally, energetically. Will Taylor Swift launch a new business in 2026 as she's in her 8th year? Yes, she will. Yes, she will. She will launch something new, a new business. I don't know if it's a production company, if she's going to start producing films, writing a book, put out a book series. I have no clue. But something, yes, there will be something that she's putting out this year that's going to grow her empire. Maybe it's I don't even know. Taylor Swift Productions, taking on a new role that is producing even more content for different people. I have no idea. But yes, this is the year that you become a mogul in your own life. So up-leveling, doing what you want to do. The energy here is I'm ready to level up. I want results. I know my worth. I'm ready to get what I deserve. Okay, so this is a more you-focused year yet again. And now we are building. We are bold. We are courageous. This is a great year to focus on assertive communication. You may want to pick up a book on that. If you've struggled with assertive communication in the past, great time to read something about that and just kind of polish up those skills of being in the business world, making your proposals, investing money if you have the money to invest, making a financial plan. I mean, this is the year to make money, be successful, pretty much. Focus on, your tips for 2026 are to focus on your career and financial goals, advocate for yourself unapologetically, lead with confidence and integrity, make bold but calculated moves. Your mantra is, I am capable and deserving of abundance. Okay. Enjoy that 8-year energy. It's so fun. I like that. I like that 8-year energy. I'll be honest. You may even go to some fancy places this year. It's going to be a good time. Okay. Personal year 9. Now this is the closure year. We've come to the end of our cycle. Let's look back at what we started in the 1 year. How has it progressed over these past 9 years? Where are we now? Oh my gosh. Let's take a look at everything. Amazing. And you can pat yourself on the back for everything you've accomplished. And you can also decide, do I want to continue on this path that I started in my last 1 year? Or do I want to shift it? Do I want to change it? What can I change to help my life continue to evolve? Are my goals the same as they were in that one personal year? Or have I added on new goals? Have I shifted? Have I accomplished those goals? Am I ready for something totally new? It's going to be different depending on what those beginning goals were. If they were goals that you could reach in 9 years, then you may be ready for new goals. If they were goals that, are 20-year goals, then you may just decide okay, loving the progress I've made up until now. I've learned so much about what works, what doesn't work, and I'm moving forward now, fortified and just continuing to reflect on those lessons. And, you'll know what you need to do starting in your 1 year. So the 9 year is really about the processing of it all. You're processing that cycle that you're bringing to a close at the end of this 9 year. So the themes here are closure, release, graduation. Think about graduation. It's like, I did it. It's an accomplishment year. I'm going to tell you guys a fun fact. This is hilarious because I didn't think about this till just now, but I had a 9 year in 2025 and I got 2 certificates. So that makes me feel like graduation because I was like even joking about it with Michael. I was like, man, 2025 was like my year of like getting certifications or something. Like I don't know why, it just was. And now I know why. It's because I was doing that to put a kind of cross a T, dot an I, finish a story. Not finish a story, punctuate a story that has been ongoing since my one personal year. And so for me, I got an NYU certificate in modern journalism with the NYU Rolling Stone program. And I also went to driving school in Pahrump, Nevada, and learned how to drive a race car, a Corvette, and competed in an autocross and got 3rd. And I have both of those plaques hanging on my wall right there, and I'm looking at them both. And they make me feel so good when I see them because I know that, those are things that are important to me, like challenging myself and being brave and becoming a better journalist so that I can put stories out there in the world that are entertaining for this podcast and that are hopefully impactful and life-changing in some way for, my other show, Be Zen with Britt, that I air on broadcast TV in Dallas. So just those certifications, though, for me, it was like I needed to take all my knowledge and just kind of polish it up like a stone and just, I don't know, make it ready for this next chapter where I want to do even more things that are in line with that. So for you, think about, as we go into this 9 year, think about what is it that's important to you? What have you consistently cared about over the past 9 years? Or since your one personal year, what have you cared about? How have you evolved? How have things grown and changed for you? And depending on what that is in your life, embrace this next level of reflecting on those things, maybe even going deeper into those things. Like I said, the certification felt like crossing a T for me. I've been practicing doing these things for a long time, but sometimes you just want to tie things in a bow. I mean, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what it felt like to me. And that's exactly what this 9 year is going to feel like for you guys. It's just, you tie things up. This is also a year of healing and forgiveness. You may reconnect with people that you lost touch with in the past. I certainly did. It was a very emotional year in a good way for me. So you may also experience some of that, some deep emotional healing, and that allows you to release some of the resentment or some of the weights that may have been pulling you down over this past cycle. Or just remember, if you do end up releasing weights or whatever, the one thing that I want you to remember about this 9 year is that everything is happening in its own time. One thing we can really learn from numerology and personal year numerology in particular is that things happen in a sequence and they build on each other. Things happen in a sequence and they build on each other, and the right timing is always going to be the right timing. So don't have regrets. Don't focus on any regrets this year, because sometimes the 9 energy can be emotional and we can feel regretful or we can have worries or anxieties come up. Lean into the Mars aspects of the number 9 energy and push yourself to bravely look at everything in your life and to lean into the positive emotions of healing and forgiveness and letting go. Nothing that we take with us into the next year's cycle, because you're about to go into a 1 year in the following year. So in 2027, you guys are going to be starting a whole new chapter. So you just want to let go of anything weighing you down this year. And you'll process it this year in ways that you did not expect. Okay, I'll share a little something. So my brother had a baby this year or last year when I was in a 9 year, and I was so excited. And what I didn't expect is that while going to visit my brother and meeting his new baby and being in that energy, that I would reconnect with a family member that I hadn't spoken to in such a long time. There was like a falling out with some things that had gone on in our family, like, years ago, like before I went to college. So it's been a long time. And this family member had always been very important to me in childhood. And it was someone that I didn't even know how much I missed. And oh my gosh, like we ended up being able to have a really great conversation because she also was there to meet the baby and everything. And she ended up showing me all these old photos that she had. And it just like put a piece of my heart back together. And that is something that I got to experience in a 9-year that I did not expect. And that was at the end of the 9 years. So for me, that was in November. So you guys, you may not know what's coming. Okay. So the 9-year, just be ready for healing, be ready to stay open, be ready for forgiveness, have an open heart, keep an open mind, have faith in what is coming in your life, and have faith in your next steps. This year can also feel a little bit slower than other years, but it's still just as significant every step of the way as any other year. A couple other things to remember is that if something doesn't fit anymore, it's okay to let it go. Think about, donating old clothes, or hey, you may decide to like fully revamp something. Perfect. Do the renovations this year. Like just take care of the things that you are preparing for next year. This is like the year to prepare for the reinvention. Next year, you're going to be very busy, out and about. This year, take care of all your spiritual stuff. Also, you may want to get involved in like a humanitarian project or something. 9 is the energy of the collective. So I got really, really into working with and rescuing dogs this past year. I had been into it since my 7-year. Thank you, 7 spiritual year. See, if anybody's scared of the 7-year, don't be. Like, you come back to yourself fully. I hope I said that, explained that enough for our 7 people. The 7-year, it's so rewarding because you come back to yourself fully. But anyway, so in the 7-year, I started that. And then in the 9-year, I like really built on that and was, I'm even thinking of maybe starting a 501c3 in my 1 year to benefit directly like animals that need help. So like, that's very much something that can come together in a 9-year though, like a great year for volunteering and joining groups and causes that you really care about. We have the midterms coming up. Maybe you want to get involved with a campaign or something. And this might feel crazy to you. You may have like never done this before in your life, but if you feel pulled to do it, participate. This is the year to not think of yourself, but to think of others. The 9-year is the year to just kind of like float in the mysteries of life. Like I said, be open-hearted, let your compassion lead the way, let go, release, process, all of that, all of those things. And if you just are in that mindset that that's what this year is going to be, and you don't think of yourself as much, like, put your causes in your community and others first this year, you'll feel really good. Like it'll really set you up in a positive way. So yeah, it's also a couple other things though. This is also a time to release what's outdated, any habits or beliefs, practice forgiveness, especially for yourself. Don't cling to anything that's ending. And again, things might not end. They just might transform. That's what I experienced last year. Things didn't really end. They just transformed. So some people get scared like, oh my gosh, the 9 is the year of endings. Not necessarily. 9 is also the number of transformation. So you may find that things don't end. They just look different than they used to. And that's a good thing because it reflects the evolution of you, Okay, and then prepare for a fresh start next year. So do all the things you need to do behind the scenes this year because next year, like I said, you're going to be on the go. And your mantra is, I embrace the beauty of life with grace. Okay, guys. So that is the energy for all 9 years. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm so excited for the live stream, you guys. We are going to be doing a live stream talking about all of this stuff. Bring your own numerology chart. Let's see, what day do we want to do that? So Sunday night, we are going to do a live stream. So if you guys are listening to this before we get to Sunday night, January 4th, head over to the channel at 8 Central Time if you guys want to talk about all of your energies, what's going on. But also be sure that you guys are subscribed and you have notifications turned on, because I have seen that a lot of people are not getting notified of the new videos, and that's just kind of an algorithm thing. So if you guys want to be sure that you stay up to date with everything going on here, hit those notifications and be sure you're subscribed. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Love y'all so much. Happy New Year. I hope that it is the most amazing year for you. I know that no matter what year energy you guys are in, you're going to make the most of it, and it's going to be very special. I'll see you in the live stream to talk more about all of this on Sunday. And if you guys are patrons, get ready for a very juicy Patreon episode. We're talking about Alex Earl and Tom Brady and numerology in the light of what's going on there. Okay? It's going to be interesting. And we're going to pull some cards. All right, bye guys.